All right, Blasko.
Yo, Joe.
How we doing?
Good, buddy.
Good.
It's April.
It is April,
April showers.
and it's been showering.
Bring May flowers. Yeah, it's been crazy. I just got back from New York last night.
How was it?
Same weather. Missed the earthquake. That was the week before, I want to say. They had like a 4.5. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I heard it was caused by the eclipse too.
Crazy. Oh, let's talk about the
Yeah.
eclipse. Let's talk. Let me sing. Turn around
Every now and then.
So Bonnie Tyler, who I guess did not originally sing that song, Jim Steinman wrote that song. I'm not sure if you knew that. Bonnie Tyler took it, made it famous. The best version of that song is obviously the Dan Band from the movie Old School when he's on stage
100%.
and he throws in the F word a couple times, just slides it right in there. That is the best. I love hearing that song, that rendition. Okay. During the eclipse, I was on 80 East driving to New York. I saw nothing. I saw some of your posts. How was it?
It was amazing. Like
Okay.
it was. I kind of discounted it as I've seen like partial eclipses before, and it was all right. I mean, you see this little body moving in front of a big body, but we went to a part where it was a total blackout, and that was the most crazy thing to watch the sun get blocked out for 2 minutes.
Northeast Ohio?
Yeah, I went over it somewhere between Worcester and Canton.
Okay, so there were better places
Yes,
than not to
for
watch
sure.
it. And I did hear that, which to me is amazing because it's one sky, it's one sun, it's one moon. But the fact that you're 20 miles east or west or north or south made a difference with regards to the total eclipse.
Yeah, so the angle's almost like if you're in Paris and you're trying to get lined up with the monuments there to make it look like different areas of your body or
right, right.
Yeah, that kind of a thing.
Standing behind
Yeah,
you,
you got to get your angle right so that you line up from the perspective of the camera. And if
Okay.
you move just 2 feet to the left or right, it doesn't line up for the for the photograph.
Did you wear glasses?
I did.
Let me ask you this question because everyone was so big on the glasses. I feel it's no different than when you were a kid and they said don't stare at the sun, right? So during the eclipse, if you stare at it during the total eclipse, you wouldn't burn your retina, right? Or are they saying the sun is still powerful, still you don't realize it's coming through there? Or is it wear the glasses because once that sun does, or the moon, right?
Moon
went in front of the
finishes
sun,
passing.
then it's going to glare at you? Is
Yeah,
that-
so
and
the
what is
glasses that I had were almost like welder's glasses. If you put
Okay.
them on, you couldn't see anything,
Okay.
right? Until you looked at the actual sun, and then you could see a real dim outline of the sun. So you could actually see it go down. And then when the eclipse hit, obviously you can't see anything, so you take them off.
And you do see
then, and then
the
you
whole
see
blackness.
it, and then the total blackout for
Okay.
about a couple minutes, and then the ring starts to form where you
That's
start
when they
seeing the
don't
sun.
want you to kiss.
And then you
that's
put it
what I
back on.
thought. I didn't
Yep.
think there was any special ray coming out during the eclipse. It was just don't be staring at the sun the entire time. That's why we wear the glasses.
I
right?
wonder how many optometrists got visits the next
Oh,
day.
boy,
Like,
right.
I looked at the sun, burned out my retinas.
How do you fix that? I don't even know if
You
you
don't
can.
know. This eclipse was brought to you by the glass sellers and the optometrists.
Yeah.
They like this happening.
200 years we have to wait now? They said another one's coming in 2045, but is that a total eclipse?
I don't think it is. I don't think it's close to us. I think it's in another hemisphere.
Okay. So this was rare for us because it was in this area. And how about people descending to Ohio?
Can you believe that?
I haven't seen that in a long time. I'm talking Cleveland was packed. But then with that, people are morons. Everyone was jacking up everything. I heard hotel prices. I saw parking downtown Cleveland, $90, $120. I mean, it's already ridiculous to go see a Cavs game or a Guardians game, and you have to pay $30, $40, but then they jacked it up to $100. I don't like that. I mean, I guess it's par for the course.
So I'm not
supply
going to
and
give away my
demand.
secrets or anything,
Okay.
but I took all back roads and I ended up in a little Amish city and I parked at a public park. It cost me like $0 to see the eclipse.
How cool is
So
that?
why would everybody go to a place where they know everybody else is going to be? That's
Right.
all of it. 80, 11, they were all jammed up. Like
Yeah.
people were sitting in traffic for a couple hours waiting to get back home. It's craziness.
Right, and that's why I was glad I was going 80 East. I was
Yeah,
going away from the
it,
mayhem.
for sure.
Total darkness felt like dusk, or it felt like
No,
9
it was
o'clock at night.
crazy. Like the birds flipped out, mosquitoes came out, like temperature dropped like 20 degrees
Shit happened.
instantly. It was crazy.
I bet you if the car was on, the headlights would have popped up.
Oh yeah, all
Right.
of the photosensitive lights came on. It was nuts.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, one of those experiences where I discounted it before thinking it was going to be whatever. And when in the experience, I was like, holy shit, I've never seen anything like
How
this.
about the first time those things happen? What do you think the people looking up were thinking, right?
Well,
Like,
religions could form
crap,
around
right.
what they were like we're being penalized or warned about we did something wrong kind of
Right,
thing.
like if you were a little kid and you just did something bad and all of a sudden the eclipse just happened to happen, you'd be like, holy shit.
Yeah, because you
what
wouldn't
I
know
did
what's
based
going on, right?
I always think about that. Even like the first time someone saw a rainbow, they had to be like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yep.
What is going on here? You know, there's color in the sky. Even if they knew what color was, pigment, because back in the day there was, there was color, I guess, but it was made from dyes and different things. I'm talking old school.
Yeah, something that doesn't happen very often and something that's super profound and awesome to look at. Yeah, for sure.
That's cool. Okay, let's talk about life now versus life back in the day. I saw you posted something regarding the automobile and the horse.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty interesting. Sometimes I think I'd rather live back in the day when we bartered. You bake my bread, I'll fix your house. You know what I mean? Where money was not present as much as the bartering system.
You would regret that in 2 seconds.
You think?
Oh,
okay. Tell me why.
all right. So let's start with conflict, right?
Okay.
How conflicts were resolved, what law enforcement was able and willing to do, what types of corruption were commonplace, how easily you could be murdered on your daily, the quality of food and dying from dysentery while on the Oregon Trail. Yeah, you wouldn't last very long.
Okay.
And-
So in hindsight, it sounds nice.
Yeah, if
It
we
sounds
were the
peaceful.
same civility that we have now and we
Right.
were there, sure, but that's not the case.
Right. It was.
So
it was
how
like
would you survive in a
gunslinging.
super competitive, conflict-based society, and you had to like fight for your survival and kind of go at your rivals, where you might every day might kill a man.
Right. I'd have a bodyguard. That
You
would
would
be
have a
my
bodyguard?
body system. You be my bodyguard. I don't know what kind of talents I have with regards to fixing huts or baking bread or making shoes. I don't have any of those talents. I would figure something out.
Law dog.
Right. Be my bodyguard. Yeah. It just seems like times were easier. But the automobile versus the horse, I mean, those horse manufacturers were trying to really tell people, you don't want this thing that's, not, I don't know, how do I say it? Not electrical, not, what's the word?
Mechanical
Yeah,
versus
you don't want something that's mechanical that could break down.
right.
But then I always think a horse can get sick. So a
right.
horse could break down.
So let's talk about this conflict, because I kind of like over the course of history studied the different big conflicts that make good stories, like the Tesla versus Edison thing, where Edison was inventing a motor that provided DC electricity.
Okay.
And he sold thousands of them going from town to town, giving them electricity, selling these dynamos to be able to produce electricity. And then Tesla comes along and he invents an AC motor, which is better, doesn't kill people, goes further distances, easier to produce, pretty much better in every way.
Okay.
Well, Edison didn't like the fact that his new product was being challenged by a new innovative thing that was actually better. So they had this war between the two of them where it was sabotage. Like Edison put together a demonstration where he took Tesla's electricity and they shocked an elephant and made it die very publicly so that it could demonstrate just how dangerous this new innovation was.
If you use Teslas, this is going to happen?
Yeah. So we've been doing this forever where I think I kind of qualify different kind of conflicts into 4 different categories. But the
Okay.
Macbeth quadrant
Okay.
is the sabotage.
Like Shakespeare, Macbeth, we're talking?
Exactly.
Okay.
So you get the saboteur,
Okay.
right, who doesn't like your idea, and instead of outdoing you or talking to you or punching you in the face, they try to like humiliate you and demean what you're doing. So
Okay.
like electric cars.
Discredit you.
Exactly.
Okay.
So electric cars are in that same thing. Like we have a lot of people who really like them and really people who hate them. And I look at the people who hate them and I think, what about the new, like Edison had a reason. He had a financial interest that Tesla was coming after him and he was going
Right.
to lose money, whatever. But for you to hate an electric car, when you have no vested interest in it, but it's the same kind of conflict. If something bad happens on something you disagree with, you'll demonstrate it like Edison demonstrated the elephant. Like, see, look how it blew up, it cooked its driver.
Right.
It's terrible technology. I don't understand why we take those saboteur conflict sort of like solutions and bring them in. We don't have anything vested.
People are morons. That's basically it. I mean, let's be
Bingo.
honest.
Bingo.
You're right. There's no vested interest in me to discredit or badmouth a Tesla.
Right.
But there are people out there who have no clue what it does, or even have never even sat in one or driven one. And I say Tesla, I mean the automobile, not the person. I'm sure he's been sat in before back in the day. But you're right. I don't know if it's human. Maybe it's the unknown and that fear of not knowing, so we just decide to bash it.
Well, you would struggle to find where we don't implement this. Republican versus Democrat.
Okay.
I disagree with you, so I'm going to demonstrate in every way your feelings and your ideas about how they're terrible and they're killing people. Like, we use that same strategy in a means of conflict with trying to take you and making you some kind of enemy, just like we would back in those old days we were talking about. But instead of punching each other in the face or a duel at noon, right?
Right.
We're doing this version of it, which is terrible for our civilization.
It is terrible, especially with the politics. You could watch two separate news stations, and I think we know what they are: Fox versus CNN, and two different viewpoints. Same America, two different viewpoints. These folks are bashing these folks. These folks are. Everyone's trying to make everyone look.
Yeah, so
bad.
a lot of speakers in our industry really talk about conflict, diffusing conflicts and resolving them and whatever. And like, I don't like the topic, because I think what makes us human beings, and that we're adaptable and that we're warriors and we conquer things, we have great constructive powers. When we're not given something to construct, we use those same superpowers to go after people, right? And so you have the physical people who will fight you in a heartbeat or shoot you. You have those middle people that will socially destroy you.
Let's be honest. There's trolls out there. You're right.
Sure.
And they have no vested interest other than just to make you look bad for whatever reason.
So I think the best conflict resolution is to get people occupied by working on big things that they believe in, so that they don't use the destructive versions of that in their everyday.
Yeah, I guess we've been programmed from the beginning to some degree to, I don't know, somewhere, somehow, someone decided to go that direction with regards to, instead of having a conversation, if we have a conflict, I'm going to go behind your back and sabotage you. And I don't know if that's human nature. I don't know if it's human
Would you
instinct.
rather be physically assailed or sabotaged? I disagree with you, so I'm going to fight you.
Right. Part of me would like to fight just because I know it's right then and there. It's present. It's going to happen. Sabotaging, I would be afraid and constantly looking over my shoulder, worried that something would happen. So I'd rather just have it here. It's like pulling the Band-Aid off opposed to...
Yeah, it's done at the end of the day. You got something to say to me. I'm not going to like it.
I might get a black eye, but at least I know. That's one of the things with conflict resolution. So, I was married a long time ago back in the day. Didn't work out. 3 beautiful kids. We still get along very well. But I was one of those people that, and this is still today, has nothing to do with even marriage. If there's a conflict arising, there's two sides, obviously. So conflict doesn't just happen. It's regarding this person and this person, whether it's views, issues, thoughts. But I'm someone who likes to get it out, finish it right then and there.
Yep,
there are other people who like to walk away, take a day or two, and then come back. And it's a tough thing, because if you're one of those ones who wants to finish it right there, and this person you're with wants to take a time, you got to come up with a compromise. So, okay, sometimes we're just going to finish it, and, other times 50% will do your way. But I never liked walking away and coming back to it, because too much shit's going on in my mind. I'm this and that.
Yeah,
so
get it over with.
Get it
move
out right then and there. But that's
if 50% of the people are the other way, and then we're trying to assimilate and occupy common spaces with people who resolve things completely different, who has the expectation? Do they have the expectation to get it done sooner, or do you have the expectation that you need to slow down and let give someone time?
Yeah, right.
That's an impasse that...
Whoa, I just sunk. Yeah, that's... I don't know. I guess the best thing is just be honest with your partner, whoever he or she is in life. You know what I mean? Whether it's a platonic relationship or an intimate relationship. Find out what your partner's needs and wants are and try to accommodate. I always say never change who you are, but you should accommodate the people you're with.
Yep.
I'm a maniac. This is my energy level. But every time I talk to people, they're not at this level, and I don't expect them to come to this level. So I won't necessarily bring myself down to their level, but I will accommodate them.
Consideration, absolutely.
Right.
You're a good human being. That's why you do that.
Thank you.
All right, I got another one for you.
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right, so article this morning, Amazon now has 720,000 robots that were doing jobs that human beings were once doing. They're replacing another 100,000 people with 50,000 new robots. the robots are cheaper on the aggregate.
Okay.
They are more efficient. They don't make mistakes. They don't take pee breaks. They don't go on vacation. They don't get sick. So they have a 99% efficiency rating. Human beings have about a 62% efficiency rating.
Based on everything that you just mentioned.
Yes.
Being sick, taking time off, making human
costing
errors.
more money, having more complications.
Wow. Okay, let me ask you this. So those robots, those 720,000 with 100,000 coming, are they in the, I don't want to say plant, are they in the manufacturing? Are they in the, like, what are they doing? Do we know their
all
jobs?
different kinds.
Okay.
So they're boxing things,
Okay.
they're sorting product, they're applying tape and labels to things, doing delivery services. They're pretty much doing everything that a robot can at this point, and they're going to be doing more of it.
They still can't look at a box of 10 things and decipher of those 10 which one needs picked out.
Yeah, they can.
They can.
Visually, yeah. Yeah, the early robots
I was like,
were
we need
more...
a human at least to do that, and then boom, that the box is.
No, they
the
have
taping, the
robots that
box-
have cameras that basically identify a product and
Get out of here.
And
so if I buy, 4 pair of socks, one is Puma, one's Adidas, one is Nike, and one is New Balance.
it can pick the product, put it in a box,
It'll be able
label
to-
it up, gone to
Holy
you,
crap.
blessed by a robot. So, which makes most people, reasonable people, think how many more big companies are going to be replacing with human beings first, or human beings with robots, and what do you do with the human beings that then are looking around saying, what the heck am I going to do? Like, where's my place?
Yeah, what's the new thing for them? I don't know. That's a great question. I think in certain industry, the robots will prevail. They've been around for a long time. Think about the automotive industry. I mean, back in the day when GM was still open, they were
Right.
You still needed the human to run the thing, but nowadays the technology is so good, maybe you don't. I don't know what those folks are going to be doing. That's a good question. I think in some industry there'll always be a requirement of a human being, although maybe not. Think of financial planning. I mean, do we want to trust a robot to look at the stock and then say, pick this one and put 100,000 into that, versus a human being really looking at the trends in the market and how things go and internalizing?
What if it could do it better? Like,
I
what
don't
if
know.
it outperforms? Would you pick a human just for the sake of it? If it's like this one could do 99 and the other one can only do 63, but I like humans better. I'm sure there's some people.
It's a
that
comfort
would.
level.
Yeah,
I think it's a comfort
All right, so let's talk
level.
about that same compromise as the last topic. So if you used to be able to, even if you didn't have a lot of skills or you didn't develop anything, you can go to the mill and twist a nut or shovel something into a furnace, right? So there was a place for that. There was an option.
Okay.
So if you're coming out of high school and you're in that same scenario, do we expect you to go get more education so you can join our more sophisticated deal because the low end is replaced completely by robots, or are we expected to bring jobs down to a level where that person can have a place?
I don't think you want to bring the job down to the level. I think the job is what it is, and I think the people have to excel to that level. That's
Adapt
what I
upward.
feel. I feel like you got to do that. And I'm not saying we shouldn't be empathetic or sympathetic towards people's needs and wants, but I feel like if you start dropping stuff to people's levels, that creates laziness, that creates being stagnant, that creates not moving forward. So I think we should always have to excel to another level. As far as the education goes, I told my kids, listen, my son Ben's a sophomore at YSU. My daughter Angelique's graduating high school this year. She's going to YSU. Great school. Their father graduated there. I'm doing fine. But I always said, if you don't want to go to school, I'm okay with that. I mean, there are people, I've never, and we've talked about this, I've never once in 26 years of being a professional speaker been hired because of my degrees. And I have a degree from Youngstown State University, and I have a master's degree from Akron, and I've never been hired because of that degree. Not that you don't need it, I guess, but I don't know. College it's important. I think it's astronomically expensive.
Can we talk about that for a minute? Because I got an
Let's
opinion.
do it, yeah.
So there was good commentary a couple days ago on, in October, right before the election, Biden's going to address another loan forgiveness for student loans.
Right.
And this is weird because this is the only industry that's treated this way, where if you didn't value something that you paid for and you thought it was a little fraudulent, overpriced or whatever, then you'd have a government agency that would stand up for you. And if there was fraud or gouging or whatever happening, they'd go after the producer of the product, and the producer of the product would then refund you on something you didn't want or didn't like. You weren't bound to it. But in government, like if you're not satisfied with your education, the universities don't have to like turn around and give refunds, right? They've got these billions of dollars of endowments sitting in these universities and these sweet deals of free government money coming in the door with a never-ending supply of new students to take whatever, curriculum that they can put out there and sell. And when challenged, they don't have to give any of that up. It's like it's a protected institution where they're not a product. They're not treated as a product like everything else.
You're right. So does that mean... I mean, would it just be at that level with university, or do you think that mentality is going to streamline into other things as well?
Things, like as consumers, we're completely consumer based, right?
Okay.
If we're pissed off at Tesla because they're doing something, we do class action. We go after them.
Right.
We prove the case that we got a bad deal. They didn't give us good value for what they did. The judgment's rendered, and then everybody who's part of the class action gets a piece back coming from Tesla, right? And so that's essentially what's happening, but rather than it coming from Tesla...
It's coming from the government.
It's coming from us, like taxpayers.
Right. So, with regards to the government...
It would be like Tesla batteries don't last as long as they should. Hey, we invested in this thing. A court says that, hey, you got to replace all these batteries. And then we're going, okay, cool, we got a judgment. Taxpayers, buy them all new batteries.
Yeah, I don't like it.
It's terrible.
Right, I agree 100%. And it is like that. You're right. There are programs in place right now, and I know people need help, and I understand that, and I am empathetic and sympathetic. But to a degree, when do you cut the cord, if you will, and make someone take responsibility for their own actions? If we continue to bail out,
the person responsible comes through on that. That's the way our justice system and anyway.
There's a lot of free rides, and I think it makes people. I mean, listen, everyone likes to get something free. If you're walking down the street and someone gives you a $100 bill, it's a bonus, right? But if you go through life expecting that, it's a problem. And I think today's generation has been given and handed so much. Hey, we're going to relieve these loans. Hey, you went to college, but it's free now. But what about the people like ourselves who went to college back in the day and had to make sure we paid those loans off? I think it taught me a lot of responsibility. It taught me a lot of stress. It taught me a lot of things.
I think free damages us.
Right, I agree with that.
I really do. We not only
free hugs are good. Free hugs are good.
Free hugs are.
You don't like Joe's not a toucher, folks. I try to
paid
hug
hugs
him.
are
Every
illegal.
time I come in the room, I hug him, and I know he cringes, but I don't give a shit. I hug him.
I'm compromising.
He knows it's coming. You know it's coming when I come. I always give him the old handshake and
pull me in close and make me sweat a little bit.
I don't pat his back or rub him.
Oh,
I
thank
know my
you
limitations.
That's your.
It's a quick little thing.
Yeah, it's a bro hug.
But I do it. Yeah, I think free makes us. I don't want to say lazy. But it makes us have expectations that we are entitled to, well, if I got $100 free on the street, then I should get my groceries free for the same reason. And that mentality don't fly with me.
Technology classes. I think I've told this story before, that I used to run technology classes for the elder people.
Yes.
Okay, I gave it away for free. Nobody respected it. Nobody showed up for it. I charged $5 full class, right? Because psychologically... Right, we do not value what free is. We destroy things that are free.
We think we're getting more if we have to pay for it.
Yep,
we do.
And without a cost or consequence, human beings will get into that primitive state and will take advantage of and exploit it and make it not even worth doing.
That was a good discussion.
Loved it.
All right, let's talk about one more thing.
Yeah, what is there?
Tang.
Tang. That caught me off guard.
I know. Tang.
Yes.
The astronauts drank it.
Yes.
Joe Danier drinks it.
I drink Tang. Well, I once.
Didn't you just post a picture? Sugar-free. Was it good?
It was really good. Like, I remember, I go to my grandma's house.
Was it port in a packet kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mixed with water.
Which how the Tang originally was. It was the powder. It was the orange powder.
I'd go to my grandma's house. We'd eat Oreos and drink Tang. That was a memory triggered big time.
My memory with my grandmother, Sanka.
Sanka.
That was the instant coffee. You'd put the water in, then you pour the just tablespoon of the grinds right in and circle it right in. Instant coffee, which they still have.
Blasphemy. Total blasphemy. You're drinking a quality cup of espresso that is brewed probably as instant.
All right, May 9th, folks. For those of you who have forgotten, Joe and I will be taking the stage at DeYor, downtown Youngstown. Tickets are flying off the shelf. Go early, have dinner, visit downtown Youngstown, create the atmosphere, give the economy some a boost, if you will, with regards to the restaurants down there. We have the Federal, we have Prima, we have who else down there. I mean, there's numerous places. The Bistro.
Yeah,
there are
all the
numerous-
restaurants
all
downtown
the
are
restaurants
participating.
downtown. I don't want to single anyone out, but just go downtown. Have a 6:30. The show will start. Sam Blasko will be on stage doing her music and singing. Joe will take the stage. We'll take it together. I'll take the stage. It's a great night. May 9th, Joe. You going?
And I can publicly guarantee that your life will improve by 63% if you come to this show.
I'll take it. 63. You heard him.